So take your time to enjoy the experience. And don't put too much pressure on yourself, but compete like you've never competed before. And good luck to you all, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much.
And now, IHSA Commissioner Hallheim would like to address you.
Are you kidding me? We sit here in the greatest basketball facility in the entire world with the greatest basketball teams in the state of Indiana, with the greatest sponsors of this tournament, with the Pacers and the Fever. Man, are you kidding me, Dave? This is a great thing. You know, I'm so excited to be here. Ladies, thank you for choosing to play this great sport. It meant so much to so many of us throughout our life. And you're here. You were mad at your coach last summer because he was pushing you. You were angry because you didn't want to be pushed that way. Or you had to get up early in the morning and go get on the bus to go to a game. All those things are now worth it today because you're sitting here practicing, having the best week of your life, getting ready to go play the IHSAA state tournament for the 50th time in this great state. You know, so congratulations for making it, each one of you. There are so many people I need to thank here. Judy Ward is with us here today. One of the first state champions at Warsaw High School. Judy paved the path for each of you to be able to do what you're doing today. Judy, thank you so much for everything you've done. Coaches, school administrators, thank you. Thank you for taking your time to do your work in the eye of the public and support the student athletes. That is such a noble thing to do. And I said in the meeting yesterday, I look around, I see these great faces and the Fever of pitchers in this building. And I know that each one of them started their path with an education-based coach in their state. And they're here today because of what you're doing today for your student athletes. Thank you so much. Kiwanis, thank you for coming to the table and putting on a phenomenal event for these young ladies. We appreciate it so much, so much. Thank you so much. Jane Schott, Assistant Commissioner, and Allie Cummings, her assistant, putting together on a great tournament here. We thank you for all the time you put together in the office and running the show and getting to this point. I know it's been a lot of work. So, folks, let's sit back. As they say where I'm from in the South, the hay's in the barn. We're done with the work for the day, folks. Let's have fun. Let's go play basketball.
And now I'd like to introduce Laura Berry from the Kiwanis Foundation in Indianapolis. Kiwanis is proud to partner with IHSA and Pacer Sports and Entertainment. And Laura is here with an announcement from our foundation.
Good afternoon, everyone. For nearly 110 years, Kiwanis members have worked to support and celebrate youth in Indianapolis, all while being inspired by their dedication, perseverance, leadership, and selflessness many of them demonstrated without a second thought. It is my great pleasure that we're able to provide scholarships to one high school athlete today. Bishop Chittard Girls head coach said, Annie Mack is the ultimate teammate. She is always focused and is trying to implement the things that we ask. More importantly, she is a great person, and have no doubt she will be successful in whatever path she takes in the future. Mac is always willing to do whatever was needed to be a better teammate. She's hardworking, tough, and reliable. It has been an absolute pleasure to coach her. In addition to being a multi-sport athlete in basketball and lacrosse, she is a student ambassador, a member of the National Honor Society, Best Buddies, and Girls Basketball Summer Camp Counselor. She has a 4.425 GPA, currently taking AP Biology and Calculus, while While she may not choose to step into the spotlight today, it is my pleasure to turn the direction on her. On behalf of the Kiwanis Foundation in Indianapolis, I am proud to present this year's $1,500 Girls Basketball Academic MVP Scholarship to Annie McAllister of Bishop Chatard High School.
All right, now to the fun part of our program. I'd like to invite up Greg Rakestraw and Brian Hanshin to give us a recap of our girls basketball season and tell us what we have in store for us this weekend as we get ready for these games.
How's everybody doing today? So my name is Greg Rakestraw, and I'm fortunate enough to be a part of the parent show for girls basketball, the semi-state parent show of girls basketball, and I'll be on the call of the 3A and 4A championship games for the IHSAA Champions Network. And Judy Warren, who I'll be talking to momentarily, is a pioneer of this sport. Well, frankly, you can say that about what Brian has done the last couple of years with the Indianapolis Star. Brian, my guess is everybody in this room is tremendously appreciative of the work you put in and the amount of web pages, column space, etc. that the Indianapolis Star has dedicated to girls basketball and girls high school sports. If you don't mind, how about a hand for Brian? So when I asked you to kind of summarize the 2024-2025 girls basketball season, what comes to mind?
Unpredictable, exciting, I think are the two best words. A lot of powerhouses, a lot of teams here that they would have expected at the beginning of the year to be here. And just so many great players. It's something that we were talking about on the podcast we hosted last night. It's just the 8 teams that are here, just the quality of people that are here, from the coaches to the players. I've had an opportunity, or to spend time with, I think, all 8 teams at this point during the season, on 7 of the games. Just the quality of people is what stands out first and foremost. And just the level of talent this year comes through these past couple years. It's just an amazing run of girls basketball. It couldn't be happening at a better time, obviously, with the surge in the sport.
You talked about unpredictability. I'm sure everyone expected Warsaw and Lawrence North to be here at the 4A championship game. Most importantly, Lawrence North and Warsaw expected to be here in the 4A championship game, and here they are. Let's talk about that matchup.
I famously picked Warsaw in every game this year, so I wasn't surprised at least to see it here.
Maybe someone time you shoot.
But seriously, seeing them for the first time in person on Saturday night, I was blown away. I've never seen a team shoot the ball quite like that. I mean, it's surprising when those kids miss a shot. It's unbelievable. For Lawrence North, the way that team has rallied from a little lull late in the season is just incredible. It's a testament to the coaching and the seniors, the backcourt today and there, the Kyrie King, we have on the show coming up tomorrow. It's just phenomenal. They're such a fun and exciting team to watch. And though it's one team here, a team here, the team they're most familiar with, they're a really fun group to be around as well.
There are 2 teams in 2A and 3A that the common statement about them is they are as good as any team in the state, regardless of classification. If you don't mind your thoughts about South Knox and Greensburg.
So on South Knox, the Hall of Fame class, and oh my gosh, they aren't really that team could probably compete for state championship in class 3. I mean, just the depth that they have, and the way that those kids have stayed with it, and the way that Holly's kept that group together. There's some shortcomings to the postseason specifically last year is amazing. They have all the great senior Kendall Hill. Kendall is just too random. I mean, just an amazing group of kids over there. So much fun to watch. Greensburg, who I saw in Plainfield, just a juggernaut. I don't know how you defend a team like that. And I think he said it for a lot of teams here, but Greensburg especially, because they get beaten in so many ways. I mean, Mary Hartman, their point guard, was coming back. I was started coming on her kid playing with a broken collarbone, which is, still saying out loud doesn't sound right. Wrapping my head around it's kind of unbelievable. So some unbelievable stories over there too.
And of course, the coaches and kids from Rensselaer Central and Orla saying, can't ignore us, you give us some extra motivation. Those are two tremendous teams as well. Your thoughts about those two underdogs who don't play like underdogs in 2A and 3A championship game?
I tell you what, Norwell was here last year, considering the kids that they graduated. I don't think many people would have expected them to be here. We are. I mean, the next roster has been phenomenal. Amazing Salt Framework. I'm writing about two for this week. It's come kind of out of nowhere, at least as outsider's perspective, just really caring to be that team. I watched them against the whole game. They went punch for punch with a really good 4A team. So to see them here now was not surprising. I watched them first. Really talented group. I'm excited to see that defense work one more time here on Saturday. And then Rensselaer Central, kind of the same thing. That length they have, I think, is going to be a problem for a lot of teams. Had been this year, will be against Saturday. Really fun, cool group. We got that on the pod too, and just such a safety talented team. Like I heard they were long and tall, but seeing them in person, the short person myself, it's just how you get this mindful.
All right, so my man here has spent a lot of time in my hometown over the last year. And that hometown, I think you probably all know by now, is Lanesville. And there's a group of the red and black that thinks we beat them twice. Once in December, and once in a 4-minute sprint in January. The longest basketball we've ever played. It took 45 days to complete the game. Gordon knew that they could get kind of through that for opening round, but they felt they had a good chance to get here, and here they are. Tell us about
Yeah, I
it.
don't know if with the fighting race car should we pause.
No, sorry, not right now, the Eagles.
Come back around and circle back 45 seconds.
Sure, absolutely.
Gordon, I mean, it's great to see them here. It's awesome that they finally broke through again. The team's not really built like a Class A team when I look at it and watch them play. They have so much size and land, Brian Ware, Nate Wheeler, we're going to go a little bit here. AJ Mallon is a phenomenal team all around. I'm really excited to see them play again here. We're actually going to be spending some time with them on Saturday ahead of the state championship game to schedule themselves. We're able to kind of help around that and do some behind the scenes stuff. It was a great stuff at the time. Excited for that.
And finally, last but certainly not least, because when they're in 1A and sometimes frankly in 2A, you just expect to see them here. Here come the Central Catholic Knights.
I think that the one team that I've read the most about since I've been here is because they're in like every single state championship game of the sports that I cover. It's unbelievable. Their game, my game last Saturday ended early, so I was able to just kind of refresh Twitter from the tablet on their win over Marquette Catholic. I mean, just a phenomenal team, and it takes a lot of talent to take off the defending state runners up like they did. So I'm really excited to see you all getting back to Central Catholic.
All right, final thoughts before we let you go back and enjoy the rest of the program.
It's going to be a really fun weekend. Congratulations to everybody on getting here. Just a phenomenal job getting here. Like the commissioner said, just soak it all in. This is a really special time. It's a really special memories. And congratulations again to everybody.
Again, all of you know him because he knows your team so well. Everybody simply calls him Hank. Brian Henson, everybody. Now, before we start to get to coaches, and one guest that we think is going to surprise us at some point in time. You heard her name mentioned before. Ladies and gentlemen, Assistant Commissioner in charge of girls basketball, Jane Shep. Now, in one sense, Jane is used to being here for the state finals, because normally she's doing the 3A and 4A games with myself or Mark James on television. This time, you have a completely different responsibility. What has it been like overseeing this tournament for the first time?
It's an awesome responsibility and one that I welcome because I grew up just like all of you. I was a product of high school girls basketball, and it's an honor to be in charge of it. The 8 teams that are here, congratulations. You're phenomenal. I've got to see all of you play, and I can't wait to see what you bring on Saturday morning and evening.
Tipton Blue Devil and Bree Boilermaker, to my right, in case you did not know. Just how different is it? Because you're used to analyzing these teams. Frankly, for many years, you coached against a lot of state finals level teams. What is it like now to not focus on 4 teams or a handful of teams, but 390 something across the state of Indiana?
Well, I have a great staff. Allie Cummins, my assistant, is terrific, and all the people in our office have been very helpful to me to manage all of that. But the biggest thing I want to do is put a great product out there for our fans, for our communities, and what that entails is everything. So instead of just looking and analyzing teams, I'm looking at officials, I'm making sure that our venues, the host schools that run our tournaments are really a great place to play. And doing all of those things together has been an honor, and it's been a lot of fun, to be honest with you.
All right, so everybody in matching sweats, you are far more concerned with what happens over there at practice today and come game day on Saturday. You're concerned about it too, but you're also thinking about what's going to happen here and with weather's like today, what's going to happen out there as part of a fan fest to celebrate 50 years of IHSA girls basketball? Tell us about it.
We just wanted to get as many eyes on this state tournament as we could. And so we did a lot of everything we could to get people here and in celebrating the 50 years of girls basketball in this great state. So the Fan Fest is between the two sessions. We're going to have the Pacers Fevers are bringing out their inflatables for outside for fans to engage in, and that'll be a lot of fun for kids. We have activities inside as well, and we're bringing back some former players and coaches to have interviews with them during that time. So it's kind of fun that we have a couple of schools here that have some of those players coming back. We'll have the Warsaw team as well as from 1976. Not the team that's going to play on Saturday night, but the 1976 team, as well as East Chicago, Roosevelt, Arsenal Tech, and Bloomfield. Those were your original state champions, and they're going to be all here to have an interview session and just get to talk to them about what it's like, as well as a few Miss Basketballs and state champion coaches. We've got Jessica Rubright from Norwell that's going to come back, so I think it'll be fun for the fans to actually revisit some of those times that they were able to watch in the past 50 years.
All right, I'm pretty sure if you've not been in the gymnasium, you have lived in the Vanderweilen Family Studios, because there's daily podcasts and content you have put together celebrating 50 years of girls basketball in the state. What has that process been like for you?
It's been incredible to hear the women and men who have put into this basketball for the last 50 years, to hear their stories. And the greatest thing is, it's my story. It's your story. When you listen to those, they're not any different maybe than what you grew up in. Just to hear how it impacted their lives and being able to hear their stories of what the tournament trail was like and how our basketball has progressed over the last 50 years. It was pretty incredible to get a chance to talk to all of those great legends of Indiana basketball.
All right, final bit of wisdom to impart, or what you like to tell the teams before their championship contest on Saturday.
My father was a pretty wise man, and before every time we checked into the ball game, he was our scorekeeper. He always said two things: play hard, have fun. That's it. And I know that's pretty simple, but if you can think about what you're going to do when you walk on the floor, either on Saturday morning or Saturday night, put a smile on your face, really enjoy the moment, because most of the people that I got to talk with, I always ask them the last question in my podcast: what would you tell somebody your age if you could go back and tell them anything? And many of them say, enjoy the moments. Just live in it and have fun. So I hope that all of you get the opportunity to do that on Saturday. I hope that you make a lot of shots and we have terrific games. But no matter what, I hope that you enjoy the moment, because it is one special moment for you, your communities, and your school. Congratulations.
Jane, thank you very much. Congratulations on a wonderful first season, Jane Shop. All right, so before we get to head coaches, sometimes when you're in a facility like this one, you end up getting a pleasant surprise. You guys want to meet an Indiana Fever player, right? Lexi Holt, everybody. So I think the last time that Lexi and I were actually together, she probably doesn't know this, I was lucky to be the announcer at the Springfield event of the USA Basketball 3x3 event at the Naismith Hall of Fame. So that's the last time Lexi and I got to hang together, which is back in April. So how many years is it going to be now for you with the Indiana Fever?
Heading to my fourth season, so flying by.
Have we Hoosierized you to the point where you're starting to check out like Indiana high school basketball games during the year?
Well, yeah, I bought a house here. I feel like I'm full Hoosier now. It's crazy.
So you got a scout report on all 8 of these teams,
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot going on this weekend. Good luck, you guys.
All right, so when it comes to high school basketball memories, what immediately comes flooding back to mind for you?
My team, some of my best friends still are from high school basketball, and just great memories at state tournament in Washington, during the national tournament in New York. So just really great memories. So soak it up while you can.
And I believe you were here for some of the state finals last year, is that correct? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I know that Aaliyah Boston was here, a couple of players were here to kind of check things out. All right, so last year was pretty crazy for you guys with the Indiana Fever. You played in front of like 3 million people or something like that. Now that you're a few months removed from it, what memories come flooding back about just how 2024 was different from the previous couple of years?
We filled games, filled stadiums. I mean, it was just the show up from fans, people supporting us not only in person but on social media. Everything just grew to another level. So we're so excited to see that
that growth and hopefully even more growth heading into this year.
All right, I literally think you flew in for this, and you have like a plane to catch as well, or something along those lines.
Yes.
Season's only 2 months away. So with that, just some final words of wisdom to impart to our team before Saturday.
Soak this time up. I mean, 4 years goes by really fast. If you're planning on going to college, soak up those 4 years. Those go by really fast. And hopefully one day you can play Gators in the WNBA if that's your dream. But soak it up because time really does fly. And I know you hear that, but it's really true.
Lexi, great to have you back for a fourth season, and best of luck to the team starting in May.
Thank you so much.
Lexi Hall, everybody.
Good luck, you guys.
That was planned, that's about 20 minutes ago. I'm glad that that coincidence was able to happen, thanks to the Pacer Sports and April Fever for making that happen. So since I mentioned Central Catholic last, they get to go first, and if you look around the building, the head coach's name is like almost listed everywhere. Normally it's Creed DeVault when we're here at Cambridge Fieldhouse. We're going to start with Craig DeVault, the head coach at Central Catholic Knights. I will use a line that I use on the pairing show. When they were in 1A, I just assumed Central Catholic was going to make it down state. They were runners-up here 3 years ago in 2022. And Coach, it is good to see you. I know that a lot of people think, well, this is going to happen every year. I know you don't treat it that way. What's it like to get back down state and play for a state championship?
It's awesome. It's awesome for our community, awesome for our girls. One thing we do for them in the summers, a goal to get there, and this year's been really tremendous, and we finally got here.
You play a great schedule. You beat a great team on Saturday, a team in Marquette Catholic that was here and returned their entire starting five. How'd you get done with semi-state?
The girls executed the game plan. If it wasn't for my coaches that put a good game plan in, and the girls executed it, so all the credit goes to the girls. I mean, what we did defensively, it worked to a T, and kind of frustrated them the whole day. So all the credit goes to our players.
I know that even though it was 3 years ago, you got some seniors that saw some time as freshmen. So what you got experience, you got some kids that have it as well. What does that mean for your game on Saturday?
That means a lot because I have Carly Barrett, Grace Bourget, who played their freshman year in the state final. Carly started. Gracie was the first one off the bench. Before that, they played in the volleyball state tournament as freshmen. So they know what it's all like. So they take the young girls under the wing and told them what to expect this week. It's going to be a hectic week, and they've done a great job.
What do you know about the Ward Braves?
I know they're athletic, they're very tall, they're physical, they have players averaging 18 points a game from Neva, so it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a competitive game. I mean, it could go either way. We're looking forward to the matchup. So,
do you take pictures next to the Creed DeVault sign when you are here at Cambridge Fieldhouse?
I think I did my first year here. After that, I think my wife and family and kids do.
The newness is worn off, but not to hitting state championships. Coach, let you go. Congratulations on making it back.
Thank you.
Craig DeVault, head coach at Central Catholic. Well done, Matt Fick, the head coach of Gordon. Talking about the Southern champions from 1A. This is our first state championship at 10:30 on Saturday morning. And I know that there will be a very large chunk of Clark County that will be here to watch this game. Coach, how you doing?
Doing well.
All right, so, we have referenced that target that has been linked to for you in conference and in section. We knew it wouldn't be in the postseason, but to have kind of, again, you knew what the top of the bar looked like. What was it like to have somebody out there that could push you like that?
It was a good test for us. Fortunately or unfortunately, Lanesville moved up for us. It was a crazy game that tie that we had to play 6 weeks later. But honestly, I told Mr. Lewis, it's probably the best thing that happened to us because I thought we grew as a team.
The postseason run you've been on, what has that experience been like for you?
It's been fun. So, we haven't won a sectional in the last 10 years, so it's been a while, but it's been a fun ride.
Ava Wheeler gets talked about a lot. I know it's more than a one-player team, but she's pretty special. Tell us about her.
Yeah, she's okay. She's all right. She's a special player. All 6 of our players, pretty balanced scoring overall. Any one of our players can go off any given night, so they're all pretty special to us.
Boys basketball team made it here about 12 years ago. Softball team won a state championship about a decade ago. Whose brain are you picking, knowing this is the first kind of go around for you as to what this week and what this experience is going to be like?
Well, my brother-in-law was actually up here 2 years ago for Gordon Central. So I've been picking his brain. A couple other local coaches, Angie Hinton was one of them. I picked her brain a little bit. Just, it's a busy week, and just trying to make it as normal as possible.
Understood. All right. Quick thoughts on Central Catholic, your opponent on Saturday.
They're super athletic. They play fast. They get after you defensively. So, kind of like Coach said, it's going to be a tough game for both teams, and I think both teams can guard, and depends on who makes more shots.
Coach, congratulations. See you back here on Saturday. Matt Vick from Gordon High School, everybody. Next up is the 2A North, the head coach of the Rensselaer Bombers, Wes Radke. We somehow made Rensselaer go all the way to the back for some reason. Maybe they're closer to the Central Time Zone that way, something like that. I don't know. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Come over this way. Don't hide behind the podium that way. Obviously, this has been a wonderful ride for you and your team. Simply put, what is it like to be here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse competing for a state championship this weekend?
Well, we just feel very blessed and very honored to be able to play this great game. I've got a great bunch of girls back there that put up with me and my insanity at times. But it's been a real pleasure to watch our community continue to support the young ladies and continue just to watch the excitement that's going on.
I am fortunate enough when the Bombers won the football state championship about a decade or so ago with Coach Biggs. I was in the call of that game. And I remember that wall of black and red supporting that team. My guess is your games have looked similar this year.
Yeah, the Bomber Nations came out and really supported the ladies all year long. And it's been nice to be able to see that kind of enthusiasm and watch our student section and watch our families from far and near, from all over. Last Friday they put out a video of past players that have played for me or past Lady Bombers that have played. It just was a true tribute to what this community means and what these girls do for the community.
You got a very good South Knox team you're competing against. What are your quick impressions of the Spartans you'll see on Saturday?
They've been number one. They're tough, they're loaded, they're going to be a handful for us to try to slow down. They got a lot of speed, they know how to put the ball in the hole, and we're going to have to come up with a good game plan and bring our best game.
I was going to say, without giving away the game plan, what are some things, if we see these things on Saturday, means good things to the Lady Bombers?
We're making more points than they are.
As always, when we put together graphics for a basketball podcast, score more points is always one of the top. Bus arrive on time, things like that as well. Wes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Wes Radke, the head coach at Rensselaer. Let's now welcome the head coach from South Knox and Holly Eves. If I had that good of a team, I'd be popular too. I'd say a lot the last few years. Holly, congratulations. Obviously, I had the pleasure of seeing your team at the Hall of Fame Classic. Only 2 losses of the season came to 2 of the top 10 teams in the state. You guys have been building to this for the last couple of years. What's it like to be so close to 1 game away?
It's surreal. It doesn't feel real right now. I know in a couple of years it will probably sink in, or a month maybe. But right now we're just playing, having fun, we love each other, and I just got a good group of girls, so it makes it pretty easy.
Certainly, like Gordon, when there's a lot of talented players, but there's one that tends to draw attention when she is the leading scorer, boy or girl, in any history of the school that consolidated in South Knox, South Knox. Tell us about Ella Bowden.
So she's okay, but no, she is a great kid. She's an even better basketball player. She's a good basketball player, but even better person. She coaches off the floor. She coaches on the floor. She can hit threes. She can take it inside. She's a great kid.
All right, so you guys thought this might be possible a year ago. You knew you had to get through a rugged sectional. It did not go the way you wanted it to. How much of a motivating factor was last year for you guys all season long?
I would say huge. It was heartbreaking to lose in our sectional. I had a baby last year, so I always thought, maybe that was a setback. I missed like 2 days, 3 days with them right before sectionals. But we always go back to that, just that feeling that you get in your stomach when you lose that punch. And we just kind of keep that feeling kind of fresh, so we keep moving.
I say things have worked out to get you back to this point. What do you know about this Rensselaer Central team you're playing on Saturday?
They're nice, they're long, they're going to push the ball to the floor. We got to hit a block out hard, and we got to crash really hard.
Ollie, congratulations and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
By the way, I'll ease everybody. I already used my joke when I was down with Ollie up here with her players in the buffet line. I said, you guys were way too mean on Lamont in the regional round. I like not missing a shot for most of the entire game. Let's go with Eric Thornton now, head coach of Norwell Knights, who's back here for a second consecutive year. I'm sure the girls from Norwell are real happy to see the Gibson Southern picture right behind me as they stare up here the entire time. Hackett State Finals game last year. And again, this is a largely different team. Hello, Coach. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Greg.
Kind of the same, question I had to Holly. Obviously, the disappointment for you was the result of the state final last year. But how much did that game motivate your team for the next 53 weeks?
It was a great experience, and sometimes you wonder if you ever get down here. So I think the biggest thing about our team is when you lose 7 seniors and 80% of your scoring average, I don't think there's a lot of expectations outside of the program. Fortunately for our kids, they kept those expectations, and they believe that they could get back down here.
I know that you were in the 400-something win category in 28 years at Norwell, so clearly winning on a regular basis is something you were thinking about, something you've proven to do. I know I asked your education's question yesterday. What has allowed your program to kind of be in this position on a year-in, year-out basis?
The many people that invest in our program and these young ladies from an early age. Our Norwell community is tremendous. It's a great place to try to build a program and just be a part of it. So I've been very fortunate to have excellent people, starting with my assistant coaches over there. Connie, our bus driver, she told me not to talk about her today. But she is always, everybody's a part of it. And I think you saw that with the great blue wave of people that we had in Huntington North Gym on Saturday.
I expect them to all make the drive down I-69 this coming Saturday as well. Again, you're a great overall team. From a scoring standpoint, Vanessa Wadsworth has to carry a little bit. Tell me about Vanessa as a junior.
Probably the best leader I've ever coached. A tremendous person off the floor. And a great player who has poured in so many hours and connects our group on the floor. She has really made a huge jump this year. Didn't expect her to play point guard coming off of last season. A couple weeks into June ball, we just said, hey, we're going to try this. And she took a hold of it, she does everything for this team. And she brought these other girls along, and they've improved here. Last 5 weeks, this is a different ball club than it was before Christmas break.
And Norwell, the team that's avenged 2 regular season losses during their postseason run. Final thing, again, you got another great team against you like last year. This time it is Greensburg. Your thoughts on the Pirates and Coach Simpson's squad?
Yeah, number 1 for a reason. Undefeated. I think when you watch them, they're just very dominant. Athletic, long. It's not about one player. It's just it's every single player that they put on. Their transition is very impressive. Their defensive pressure, I think it's relentless, and you can see why they're at this point in the season. We'll have to play really well.
Coach, best of luck. The only team to return from last year's state finals, the Norwell Knights. Congratulations, Coach. Just mention his name, Jason Simpson, Greensburg High School. Greensburg is making their second state finals appearance in girls basketball. They were here in 2018. Coach has been here though multiple times. He was an assistant on a pair of boys basketball state champions at Greensburg just a handful of years ago. And unfortunately for him, Jason over a bunch of my college buddies. Only got to know him for 30 years. Coach, it's good to see you again.
It is good to be seen.
And very much kind of like Holly in South Knox. This was the expected outcome to get here. What is it like now to get one game away from finishing off the championship?
I don't know that I would describe it as the expected thing necessarily, because each season is its own organic beast, if you will. But we walked off the floor of Charlestown last year, regional, and this group immediately got focused on this is where we want to be. And, you know, you talked earlier about all those 6 a.m. bus rides, getting up and workouts. They set to doing all of that to do everything in their power to make sure they got here today.
All right, you guys have been a bit of a buzzsaw this year. I think 3 games have played less than 10 points. What that work contributes to it, how have you executed that during the course of the season?
I've never seen a group of athletes. You mentioned I was extremely fortunate to be a part of those 2 boys state titles. Phenomenally talented teams. I've never seen a group so laser focused on their goals like these girls are. And to just stay the course and the defensive pressure that they're willing to put out there and the way that we run in transition, it takes something special because they never take a possession off. And that's asking a lot of a kid, but just their focus and relentlessness has really carried the day for us.
Those boys state championship teams had 5 players that were innovative Division I athletes, 3 of them in basketball. You have one of those now in Leah West End of Belmont. While you get scoring from a variety of places. Tell us about you.
What can you say about Leah? Everybody's sitting back there giggling because they know we kind of call her the Pied Piper, because Coach earlier said that one of the best leaders they've ever coached. Leah is in a category all her own, and the thing is, she's not truly trying to do it. She's just one of those kids that, through her work ethic and her personality, people just want to be a part of her aura, and they follow her, and she's done a great job carrying that leadership role. But then she's that kid that can score in multiple different ways, and we try to get her the ball in different spots on the floor. Her teammates look for her, and she just does a phenomenal job.
And Coach, one thing before we let you go, again, much like yourself, Norwell is a team that has been here and knows the way here. What do you expect from your opposition on Saturday night?
Well, I was excited because I got some intel on the way here from the Fort Wayne area. They said Coach thought his team was getting bored and stale, so they're playing all man-to-man on Saturday. No 1-3-1. They're just going to play man-to-man, fall back, and of course I kid. They're going to play tremendous half-court defense. You know, I've heard from multiple coaches this week how they start learning their 1-3-1 action as young as 5th grade. And everybody that plays in his system knows it. And so once he gets these kids in high school, they're working, you know, the ins and outs of it. It's not learning it and teaching it. So they're going to be extremely solid in that. I don't know if you can put 7 shooters on the floor, but I feel like every single kid that catches the basketball, we've got to be there because they're all weapons on the perimeter. They're going to pin their ears back and get downhill in that dribble drive motion. So that defense that has been our calling card is going to have to be the best that it's been all season.
I just looked at James. She confirmed you only can play 5. At least we're on time. Yeah, that's all right. Thanks, buddy. Good to see you, Coach.
Thank you.
You got it. Head coach at Greenford High School. Let's get the 4A Warsaw. Lenny Krebs, please come on. Really enjoyed getting to talk to Lenny for the first time yesterday. Lenny played basketball at Grace College. We're going to talk about Coach Kessler a little bit. We had our state finals media session yesterday. Coach, it's good to see you again. Obviously, it is special for all 8 of these teams and communities, but so much will be made about Warsaw being here on the 50th anniversary after winning 76 and 78. What does that add to this for you and your team?
You know, we have talked about that multiple times over the year. Just walking in, the first person we ran into was Judy Warren, and we just keep reconnecting to the past and how close to bring that full circle that 50 years ago, Warsaw was here, and now we're sitting here. I think this is a big moment for our community, just a big moment for the entire Warsaw community. You're seeing them rally around these girls and hopefully giving them the same experience that Judy had 50 years ago.
You use the phrase connectivity or connected. You use that phrase a lot when you and I spoke yesterday. If you can give me kind of the 60-second definition of what being connected as a team means to you.
You know, a lot of times just being connected means you know what each person on the team is going to be doing. You know that when the shot's going up, you know when to expect a shot from different people, and that we're not surprised by what's happening on the court. We know when Johnson Rick is going to take a shot. Everybody knows that. We know when Winchester, and just staying connected and staying within the framework of what we do.
The most important part of what you've done this year from an on-court standpoint has been to win. Just one loss to get here. Though this was very unique. You had 3 different players break the 1,000 career point mark in a game this year. What does that say about your group?
Okay, that's an amazing group, and I just stay out of the way. That's my job, is just to stay out of the way. But how unique to have 2 players break it in back-to-back games. We had Brooks Hartman break it, and the very next game, Johnson Breaker crossed into 1,000 points. And then the first game, or the regional game for Winchester. It just says a lot about these girls. It also says a lot about the girls around them and their ability to do their job and how those girls get to that point. I think everybody focuses on the 3,000-point scorers, rightfully so, but the girls around them, they don't get the credit that they deserve.
Yeah, clearly it is a team effort. I know we talked with you yesterday. You were very impressed by Coach Thomas's North squad. Just your thoughts about your opposition coming up on Saturday night.
I don't think this group gets the credit that they deserve. You know, people look at the 8 losses, and I look at their strength of schedule, I look at what they do, and I'm very impressed by this group. Coach Thomas does an amazing job with that group. They're athletic, they're quick, they disrupt offensive teams, and I'm just very impressed by what they do on the court.
You have beaten some outstanding teams to get here. You got one more in front of you. Lenny, congratulations. Thanks for the time. We'll see you Saturday night. Lenny Crabtree, the head coach of Warsaw. And our final coach interview, you can head this way, Stephen. Stephen Thomas, head coach of Warsaw. I have had the pleasure of covering Stephen as a high school player at Cathedral High School and as a collegiate player at what is now IU Indy, but back when he played at IUPUI. So there's always a little bit of extra pride for me having seen him in Jaguar uniform and now doing this. All right, you know when you're good, you got a chance to make this run every year, but you obviously have this other really good team next door to you that you finally go over the hump and beat for the first time in a couple of years in the sectional final in LC. What was that moment like for you and your team?
Oh, it was a moment that was long overdue for us. We had come with that LC team, North Central team, over the last 2 years, so to be able to get that done and celebrate that with our ladies was a breath of fresh air.
Now, what you didn't want to do was say, okay, that's the high point. You want to play for 3 more weeks. In your next game, you're down double digits in the first half. How did you get turned around against the Middle Knights?
Oh, we've been knocked down, which has been really great about this group, because when you get knocked down, then you stand together. I hear Coach Lenny talk about how connected their team is and how dangerous they are because of that connection. But our ladies have been able to be knocked down and use our 8 losses and use our experience throughout the LC games to gain connection with each other. So during those difficult moments, it's a lot of we've been here before.
You get contributions from 7, 8, 9 players on a given night, but you've got 2 that are bedrocks that have been 4-year starters, looking at Division I players, and Kaya Hurd and Jemiah Thomas. What has it been like to coach up that duo for these last 3 years and dating back as assistant coach all 4 years of their high school career?
I still have the majority of my hair, and it's the same color, and not gray because of those 2. I'm very thankful to be able to have such an outstanding point guard in Kaya, but then you partner that with an outstanding post player like Jemiah Thomas. That dynamic duo has continued to answer every challenge along their high school career, and it's made them better, and they're wonderful leaders. We always talk about our seniors and how great they are, all 6 of them, and they lead in a way that others want to follow, and they speak in ways that others want to listen. So that's been an incredible aspect to have as a coach in your locker room.
You do not suffer from a lack of competitions. You have seen all the best. Here comes one more and more so. Your quick thoughts about the Tigers.
Oh, I love how Coach Lenny, like I said, talked about their connection. You can tell. They are connected together offensively, defensively, and they know and have a feel for each other and the connection. And you can't really scout because they're going to be able to make the right plays at the right time. So we're looking forward to that great contest and a great opportunity to play against another great team.
Happy to report, my friend. I'll see you
Appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Steve Thomas, again, the head coach of Lawrence. Up for all eight of our coaches come up here and join us. I know some of you are about to head home because you have practice earlier. Some of you are hanging out a little bit because you're practicing this afternoon. We have one more special guest we want to welcome. Again, it is the 50th anniversary, I think you know that by now, of the girls basketball state tournament. Only one can be the first, and that would be Warsaw in terms of champs. And little did she know back in 1976, she was basically signing up to be the ambassador for IHSA girls basketball for life. But she has done it so well. Judy Warren, everybody. Now, she was always so gracious before I got up there and said, hey, if we have to cut some time with me, that's perfectly fine. We're going to treat this like PTI. 5 good minutes is what we're going to do here. When I just asked you to think back to that Saturday in '76 at what is now Hinkle Fieldhouse, what memories come flood back to your mind?
There are so many great memories, and as I talked to some of you before today, and just cherish this moment. I know several people have said it, but I remember being a little kid, and, well, I haven't really grown up much yet, but being a little girl starting to play basketball, you were always tomboys. You know, if you played sports, and I would always be playing with the boys. There were 27 kids in my elementary school before we consolidated to Warsaw. And not many of the girls ever wanted to play basketball. So I was playing with the boys all the time. And there were no teams for high school other than GAA, Girls Athletic Association. And it was just a play day, getting together with girls from other schools, and they put you on a team and you play against each other, and that was about it. Well, thanks to the IHSA and thanks for your continued support, we got to play quite a bit more. My sophomore year, they started out with track state tournament. And, you know, it was okay, but we're thinking, okay, when's basketball going to come? And then my junior year, we finally hear that your senior year, there's going to be the IHSA sanctioned state tournament, and we'll get to play in sectionals. We played in sectionals 1. We went undefeated that year, but we had no idea because there wasn't the wonderful Indianapolis Star that carried any girls' sports. We didn't know what the Southern people did. We didn't know what Central Indiana played like. And we just knew in our area, we were pretty good. So we had dreams and hopes and talked about winning the first state tournament from when we were sophomores. We had a very connected team that year too. Had a couple of players whose father had passed away during our high school years, which brought us even closer together. And we wanted to do it for those people and for the community. So we come down to Indianapolis on that Saturday, and our first sectional game, we're playing in front of maybe 100 people. Our first game of high school, we're playing maybe in front of 25 people. We get to our semi-state, and there's about 400 people there. And when you walk out onto this floor on Saturday, and there are 15,000 people, hopefully, in the stands, and you're looking at that court, and that's the only thing you're focused on. Those people in the stands don't mean a thing, because you're focused on your team and your job for Saturday. All the fun building up to that is great. All the fun you will have after Saturday night is over is going to be fantastic, even if you're number 2. And that's even if you get second place. You think about all the girls that would trade places with you with that runner-up medal. So win or lose, you look at it as a great opportunity. And I remember we didn't get a bus to come down to the state finals. we rode in a Winnebago. You probably don't even know what that is. For those of you, it's a motorhome. And we had a local optometrist that had a motorhome, and he said, I'll take you to the tournament games in that, and you don't have to take the bus. One positive thing is it had a bathroom already in it. So as we're driving 2 hours down, we don't have to make any stops for anybody. It was before seatbelts, so you could roam around the whole place. I mean, it just was a different time. But we walk in and we have no idea that anything special is what had happened. I had no idea that there was a mental attitude award. I had no idea that there was going to be a Miss Basketball. I had no idea that there was Indiana Kentucky All-Star game. We were just there for the love of the game and for the love of each other. And I think it's real important that you take advantage of all of these opportunities, playing summer ball, working hard, what it takes to get back, because you know what you have to look forward to. I never dreamed that 49 years later, it's actually the 50th tournament, but it's only 49 years. So I'm not as old as you think I am. But to think that every single year in February, I have friends that always want me to come to Florida. I said I can't do it in February because I'm always asked to come back and talk and share experiences. And I could go on for hours, but I've probably already taken up my 5 minutes.
You can get more than 5 minutes, it's okay.
But it really is a unique experience, and one thing I do want you girls to know, and I didn't realize at the time either, how many little kids look up to you and admire you now and forever. You're their idols. So watch every step you take when you're sitting on the sidelines and you're waiting for your chance to get into the game. The camera's on you too. And all those kids are watching you. All the fans are watching you. You're going to do a great job of representing your community and playing hard. And most importantly, as Jane said, have fun.
You can applaud for that, absolutely. Sometimes, as an interviewer, my best job is to get out of the way, as I just did there. What Judy has said to you is far more important than anything that I will add, because she's lived it, I've not. What I can offer for you, now that I'm closer to Judy's age than I am your age, for the ones that are playing in this game, just a bit of history. She played the first IHSAA state championship in 1976. The first NCAA women's basketball championship was 1982. The WNBA started in 1997. So what is routine for you? I know that several of you will be playing college basketball a year, 2, 3 from now at the NCAA or NAIA level. Maybe, just maybe, one of you might play for the Indiana Fever or one of the teams in the WNBA. It all started in states like Indiana, and it didn't start that long ago. That's the reason why we're celebrating 50 years on Saturday. It's because of the path that was blazed by people like the person to my right.
And I also had great teammates surrounding me. Shonda Klein was Miss Basketball 2 years later. 1978, Warsaw went back and won the state championship again. Of course, I was in college by then at a school where only 2 colleges gave women's scholarships in Indiana, and that was Franklin College and Indiana State. And I went to Franklin College and paid $10,000 more a year to go to that school so I could have a $1,000 scholarship. I wasn't very smart back then, but I learned a lot. I would also like to thank the Kiwanis for their job in hosting this event. We didn't have the opportunity to have a Final Four banquet, but we got invited when the boys' state championship got their Final Four banquet. So we got back and went to that and was recognized during the boys' championship. So girls, blaze the trail, have a wonderful day, and make the best of your memories, win or lose.
Judy, thank you very much. Everyone, thank you very much. Steve, for his final comments.
Thanks, Judy. Thanks, Greg. On behalf of the Kiwanis Foundation of Indianapolis and Kiwanis clubs across the state of Indiana, Pacers Sports and Entertainment, IHSA, I want to welcome all you girls and your teams to the state finals. As you've heard from everybody here, play hard and have fun.